In a tent creeper. Aw man, I love that meme. During the introduction to this new world, we're actually being shown a peaceful overworld where monsters and friendly mobs alike relax and play together. The main thing we can see being zombie villagers playing in the village next to normal villagers without going berserk. I said normal weird, but let's ignore it. And that's already odd enough. However, even further in the background, we can actually see two creepers playing with each other on the hill. They run in, and then they bump into each other, and then they start jumping up and down. Originally, I thought one of them actually starts the explosion animation, but that isn't actually the case. I watched this trailer at a quarter speed, so I made sure that it wasn't actually happening. Either way, it just helps to make the world feel more alive, even if it is just a trailer.
Coming in at number 9, no pillagers. Not to be confused with the villager, vindicator, or illagers. Pillagers are illagers armed with crossbows that patrol the overworld, guard their outposts, participate in raids, sometimes spawning on ravagers in later waves of the raids. They are the weakest and most common of the illagers. Pillagers are hostile towards players, iron golems, wandering traders, and villagers, but not towards baby villagers. But where are they? Like in this Minecraft Legends, don't they run the overworld too? They definitely would be a great addition to help us take down the piglin army. Maybe they just don't like the race of us crafters. I don't know, but let's decide and say they want to just stay in their lonesome or maybe the distant time. So let's just say they might even be included in the DLC. I would definitely like to see some pillagers with some crossbows.
And it ain't new animal. There have been quite a few animals I've noticed around the trailer for Minecraft Legends, although there also aren't as many as I would typically associate with a Minecraft world. At 1 minute and 41 seconds, we can see in the actual gameplay that there are golden alley building, and while that's happening, we can see a turtle on the coast, 2 pigs inside the fort that's being built, 1 along the back wall and 1 at the front, and a rabbit in the middle. However, there is 1 animal that I can't quite pin, and it's actually in the first gameplay scene at 1 minute and 39. I can't tell if the animal at the bottom is a raccoon, a squirrel, or as my Canadian instincts tell me, a beaver. Or it could just be a random dead carcass from one of my many victims, but it's interesting nonetheless. The Canadian in me says that it's a beaver, but that's not a Minecraft thing. Maybe this is just meant to get a feel for how the community reacts to beavers. Although I don't know. Oh, I feel bad now.
Coming in at number 7, all mobs are good. Only you can bring together the mobs of the overworld and help them defend their home from the skeletons to zombies. Y'all must work together to overcome the challenges that lay ahead. Unite the overworld and come together to take down the ravenous piglin coming from the Nether to defeat the terrors and horrors to come. So at the end of the day, you must help out all the mobs and you are the hero, hold the brine. Or maybe we want homie to show up, cause him having us on my side, I mean he's definitely gonna be on my side, that's no question. But I hope he would be on our side, especially if he's in this new iteration of the craft. But from every mob except the piglins, they seem to be on your side this time around, which is kinda crazy. But if mobs are good, that leaves me to say one thing. I'm not a fan of spiders and the jockeys, okay? But we already are horseback riding, so it would be nice to have some jockeys to kinda help us out. Maybe unlock them later on in the game. But even a skeleton jockey, or even being able to get one of them skeleton horses to ride in the game, that would be pretty cool. I mean, we've seen regular horseback riding, but give me a skeleton horse in the Legends, yeah. And
it's 6 ghost golems. Since I mentioned the fort in my last number, let's talk about how there are actually a couple of ghosts, or ghost golems, inside the fort itself while it's being built. Now, we have no way of really knowing if those were placed separately or if they came with the fort, at least right now we don't. But with those ghostly outlines, it's like you're trying to build something in the game The Forest. So to me, it seems like at the very least we're getting a couple of defenders with each structure that we end up building, which would definitely make sense. I don't know if it's the only way to actually get these guys to be on your team, meaning that you'd only have a large army if you built a lot of structures, which I guess in a way would make a form of sense, but that also seems like a lot of grinding for not that much reward, unless these guys are freaking insane, okay? It's also worth noting that since the trailer can be viewed in 4K, I'm guessing the game can be played in 4K as well, especially if you're using Game Pass, because they need to find a way to sell that to you. Because I mean, if you're gonna play this game enough, I mean, you might as well pay the $30 once, and then after the 3 months you'll be saving money instead of spending $10 a month on Game Pass, unless you play a load of the games on Game Pass, in which case it would be worth it. I'm not built like that, okay? I find a game I like and I hone in on it for months until I'm sick of it, and then I wait 6 months and then I do it again. Or maybe that's just with Skyrim.
Midway through at number 5, the building. There is building in the game and it's really different. By the looks, it looks like we control the alley to do the building. And some type of building mechanic, it's not really the same. It's not really us mining, right? But the building, it's the blue and yellow alleys, they literally just go tossing themselves at things. They gather things for you by the looks of it as well. And building is not the main focus in this game. It's surprising enough, even though it's technically Minecraft. So technically the reason to playing this cracked out craft is because of the legends. And like I said, it looks cool to build, but these alleys, they work fast for you, okay? And it seems like they're the OP builders of the game. I can't tell if it's by the press of a button, but by the way they are dismantling the tree in the trailer, by the looks of it, the player has a chest set down and the allay are just going at the tree like termites. But the items are going back in the box. So I guess you don't need pesticides, just let the alley do all the work for you. Like I said, building is not the main in this game. The alleys are doing it all. I don't mind.
And at 4, red eyes. See, this I figured was certainly something worth pointing out because honestly it's kind of confusing. See, in the trailer when the piglins first exit their portal, their eyes are white. But in the last few moments of the trailer, you can actually see that their eyes are glowing red, which is a total change of pace, especially when red signifies anger, hostility, and given that their homeland is literally the Nether, I'm guessing it signifies hell as well. And while my first thought was that it was a clue towards herobrine and that he loses control over the piglins, instead I think that it's just a simple game mechanic. The red and white eyes are meant to indicate whether they actually see an enemy or not. Red means that they have a target and are hostile, and white means that they're not suspicious, like the sneaking eye in Skyrim, like how it opens and closes, or the color indicators for your actual character when you're sneaking in Security Breach. Although given the new achievements in 1.19, I think Skyrim is definitely the best comparison. Also, hail Talos.
Coming in at number 3, the inventory world box. The alleged inventory box in the overworld that you see in the opening, like right at the shrine. You can see a gold box, and well, if you tell me guys, if you ever played Destiny before, and if not, let me explain what it is, okay? You literally load into the game and you get teleported and everybody gets called to the so-called tower, right? You meet up with the main NPCs, merchant, and the key thing here is the inventory bank in the tower, your aka storage unit where you can't sleep in it though. Well, you can store your loot and all your gear in the so-called bank. Either it will be rare or just cool, which leads me to think Minecraft will have this type of system because it's a strategy game, and unless Mojang is gonna be dumb and do those pay to win aspects, I won't be about it. I'm telling you right now, right? But that being said though, this would be a nice addition to you after your long session with your friends. You can come back to the main village or shrine, or some will call it the beacon, and drop off your loot and brag about what you got compared to your friends. Somewhat like Destiny. Destiny is a shooter game though, that's the only difference, and you're in space, okay? Straight up though, that really reminded me of the Destiny Tower. That's all I gotta say.
But ultimately, in at number 2, the book cover. I've been talking a lot about a specific symbol that appears all over the Minecraft Legends trailer, okay? The box containing the diamond, or I guess technically it contains another square since a diamond is elongated on one axis. But either way, I've talked about that symbol a lot over the past few Legends videos, but watching the trailer at quarter speed, I saw that the symbol also appears on the cover of the book that the villager starts reading at the beginning of the trailer, and that the structure the allay fly through that I think is a way shrine literally teleports the allay into the next shot. So I think that this symbol will be the main focus of the story, and that activating all of these structures that also turn into way shrines is what the story of the game will revolve around. I'm also hoping, or guessing, that a few of them are going to be unmarked and only found through adventuring instead of just through the story, kind of like an Oblivion or one of the better Skyrim quests, but that's just a hope.
Finally here at number 1, open world just like Breath of the Wild. So you guys have seen the trailer by now, right? And honestly, if you haven't, go take a look at it, okay? But tell me, don't it have this Borderlandish type feel about it? It's kind of like that Breath of the Wild vibe too. Now look at the design work, let alone you can see from the shell shading, looking into the distance, it gives us that type of open world feeling. Much as it is a third person top down-ish viewpoints, it has its moments where you really can see the world. Like, it's big, it's vast, just like the Breath of the Wild. They had this same shell shading vibe looking off in the distance as they looked like there was so much more to explore. Or I could just be totally overthinking it and it runs like the older Pokemon games that gets tied to the open world somewhat section and you feel like you're just set to a tied path. So really and truly, I would like to see open world in this game. You know, Legends would be so cool with that.
And at 10, blue chests. Last time I also mentioned that the blue allay that gather items for us, they put them in our inventory directly, but after watching things more, I've noticed that this isn't actually the case. The blue allay also summon blue chests that they then put the items into, but I'm guessing that also adds the item to your inventory, or the separate inventory that you then build with. So the allay work the same way that they do in normal Minecraft, just with the exception of a note block, assuming that we aren't hitting one or something, since we can't actually hear the in-game noise. But given the music notes coming off of our player, I'm guessing that we do play some quick music for them, okay? The allay lore isn't broken by this game, which is certainly something that was confusing me, okay? At least I took a closer look because now I can sleep soundly again. Hopefully my mouth won't be as dry this time. Maybe I just need to drink water literally ever.
Coming in at number 9, the way how you build. We saw building in the first trailer now, and this is the new release. You see, the blue alley that flies around in some of the clips, it kind of confuses me, to be honest with you though. Early on, they appeared to build a little structure next to the blue chest before the footage cuts away. They appear again not long after, seemingly to clear a path for the player to move through. Not only that you see in the trailer, the allay are building walls, and by the look of it, you get to pick a section and choose the typing of wall or door, and they seem to build super quick. Like Bob the Builder would be so proud. I mean, if there's a skin I would like to get just for fun, it would have to be Bob the Builder, for real, because yes, I like to build, and yes, we can build, and you can too. Goddamn, we can all build.
And it 8 spawners. Last time I mentioned how we can see floating golems in the fort that we're building with the golden allays, but that those creatures hadn't seemingly spawned in yet because we may have had to have the materials to build them. However, thanks to the additional gameplay footage we got from the Nintendo Direct Mini, we now know that these floating blue ghost mobs are actually just indicating what type of spawner is below them. And in a few frames we actually can see the spawners. I'd also like to point out that they look fairly similar to the what we thought was a lantern on the side of our horse. However, it's not a lantern, okay? On the left side of our horse, or well, on the left, when you're riding it, not when you're facing it, you actually seem to have a mini spawner, which is where I'm guessing the allay we summon come from, since, we have to have a reason for summoning the allay to actually, build and collect items for us. They can't just come out of nowhere. It's also worth noting that the design on the spawner on our horse and in, the actual spawners is the same symbol that's on the way shrines. So, maybe they aren't way shrines at all, but just really big spawners, or maybe just simply respawn points for the player. And I was being serious, I am severely dehydrated at all times.
Coming in at number 7, directional attacking. Now when it comes to attacking in Legends, I'm so glad to see it's not a turn-based game, because honestly, I do not care. I think Pokemon is the best turn-based game, and then comes Mega Man Battle Network. So I don't need a game like Minecraft Legends, or just Minecraft alone, to go turn-based. That being said, you see in the trailer clips as you're riding the horse, you can swing your sword, which makes me want to ask, will you be able to actually come off your horse and do some attacking? You see 2 directional arrows showing that you're allegedly attacking in a red zone. Also, what happens if you select the arrow behind you? Do you attack behind or no? Or is it just the aim marker? It's really stirring my pot, I tell you. I want to know more about how to attack and how to play. These teasers, they're killing me on the inside, strumming my pain through my keyboard fingers, I tell you.
In its 6th Nether portal banner. In this new gameplay as well, we get our first look at the portal animations from in the game instead of as an actual animation. We see the big piglin chonk boy pop through, but it's also worth noting that the banner next to this portal, the portal that he comes out of, was what I thought was an allay king. But now, in context, I know that it's not, okay? Instead, I now believe that this is a symbol meant to represent the piglins, specifically the snout. Notice how the nostrils on this banner are at different heights, just like the snout on the piglin exiting the portal are also at different heights. Yeah. The, I'm guessing, eyes of the piglin as well on the sides. Great! Thank you, Scott!
Midway through at number 5, horses. These beautiful mammals can hold some flame or light source on their side saddle. But correct me if I'm wrong, even though they may have a light source on their side, it doesn't really seem like they're lighting up much of a path, which kind of seems odd because Minecraft is kind of based on lighting up your areas to scare mobs away. But when they are your friends and not your foes, how did these rules apply? Maybe it's the gold allay in the saddle, but I don't know. It definitely looks like it's on fire on the side of that poor horse. To have a flame on the ribs 24/7, but as Connor stated about the spawner, it might just be portable. It might be that portable spawners, but still, a fire burning on the side of that horse, I feel bad, man. By Jace, poor horse.
And it 4 secret chests. There also seem to be secret hidden chests around the map that probably have some cool loot in them, in particular in the Nintendo trailer, okay? I see 2 of them on top of different plateaus in the marsh area. The first at around 2 seconds into the trailer, and then the next at 4 seconds. They don't seem to be the same ones thanks to the different plateau designs, since the second one has another level with trees on it. But my guess is that we'll be able to collect keys from various missions and quests that then allow us to open these chests when we find them. Kind of like shrines from Breath of the Wild. I'm sure that some will be difficult to find, but we may or may not get a form of radar that helps us find them, at least if they're taking any inspiration from Breath of the Wild, which is currently unclear since we've had like maybe 45 seconds worth of gameplay footage, and we've made how many videos on the subject?
Too many! Actually, not enough.
I'll go with too many, amen to that. But with the cel-shaded look of the actual game, it's entirely possible that they are taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild. So, here's hoping.
Coming in at number 3, blue safe zone versus the red. Now this ain't no gang war between the Bloods and Crips. I mean, it is an all-out war between mobs, but we never thought that would be on our side. But we're using a legit safe zone, and why not a blue Squirtle Squad zone, right? Who doesn't like the blue Squirtle Squad? The Squirtles in their glasses, they were gangster, you know what I'm saying? Not just gang, they were gangster. Whether or not there's less of a focus on survival, it's hard to just know yet, but there's absolutely an emphasis on leading little armies into battle against these evil little piglins and taking over their encampments. We gotta take all the little piggies to the market, you know what I'm saying? We some blocky folks riding around on horses with spiders and llamas following us around the map. Later, the player whirls around the flag around themselves, which looks to rally a bunch of creatures to their aid, which becomes a blue area. But I wanna know, do the llamas spit on the foes? Like, that would be pretty neat, right? Like, let me know down low what y'all think, right? But you know, just to see a glimpse of the red areas when you're in the Nether, is this a danger zone? We can't really tell, but as I stated in the directional attacking, maybe it shows the surrounding enemies, or maybe it's just we overthinking it. But I would like to know if Sway had the answers for this one.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Okay, doesn't seem like Sway ever has answers for anything. So Sway, let me know. You don't got no answers, Sway.
Penultimately, in at number 2, territory banners. There are multiple points throughout both trailers where we can see blue banners in the background of certain shots. They seem to be what I'm guessing would be like a 3x4 block wooden wall, and are either blue or in one shot, seemingly black and blue at around 8 seconds into the trailer. I think these banners mark extra territory around what is already claimed by the various factions, and I guess maybe black would mean unclaimed, the Piglin banner would mean Piglin claimed, and blue means that it's owned by our allies and our forces, which also gives me the idea that we may potentially have the ability to lose the war with the Piglins, which would certainly be interesting. I mean, that was the original plan with the Skyrim Civil War questline as well, but they ended up cutting that for whatever reason and just making it linear, possibly time constraints, although it might have just been to torture me. So maybe that's what they're leaning towards with this game. A dynamic battle that can actually be lost, or you can just be at a severe disadvantage for the final battle. Who knows?
Finally, here at number 1, the main supposed goal. Minecraft Legends' new gameplay trailer has a big Dragon Quest Builders type energy. Minecraft Legends is a unique action strategy game, and the announcement explains that the strategy elements is definitely at its core, but its mechanics are inspired by the immersion of action games. You get to explore the familiar yet in many ways new overworld in a third-person perspective. You will defend peaceful settlements and fight hordes of piglins to stop the spread of their nether corruption. But what is the main goal to this game? To me, it seems like we are taking on the Piglin army. Come on, there's so much more that we can dive into for the craft, guys. The mobs alone, but what is the true lore? How did we get here to this Legends? And you know what? I got someone here that you guys know. Yours truly, Dr. Cheese, will let you guys know how we got here with this Legends.
The Nether realm is a dark realm of Minecraft that is home to the horrific piglin mobs. They just lust for gold and destruction. Yet in Minecraft dungeons, they seem to be out for blood. My armies could easily take them, however the implications to the lore could be excruciating. The piglin army would normally turn into zombies after 30 seconds in the overworld, proposing that the true story of Minecraft Legends is about how this came to be. In it 10 Striders. We haven't actually seen any Striders yet in the Minecraft Legends trailer, but all promotional material and game descriptions hint that we're going to be taking the fight to the Piglins. So does this mean that we will ultimately have to go into the Nether? And if we do, how will we be crossing the giant lakes of lava that plague the 8th circle of hell? Striders. The gameplay from what we've seen focuses heavily on mounts, suggesting that we will either always be on a mount or that mounts will be a very popular and developed aspect of the game. However, this also means that in the Nether itself, we would be out of luck unless we're able to use Striders, which I think would add some much needed comic relief to the intensity that will be the final battle in the Nether, okay? We may actually go to literal hell in this game to fight the final fight. So yeah, definitely gonna need something to break the tension a bit, you know? In it 9, Ghasts explained. Ghasts are just the giant floating jellyfish sperm whales of the Nether, okay? And I have no idea what they really are. Maybe they are actually giant floating jellyfish mutated due to the Nether, or maybe infused with souls. Maybe it's some other mob that's been warped due to eating mushrooms and netherwort, or again, like I suggested earlier, it's a little bit of a half person that really likes to swim. Nobody knows, but we can kind of guess, okay? They could be a squid brought there and tested on by ancient builders or otherwise. They could have been changed thanks to their diet of warped mushrooms, crimson root, netherworts, and the like. Maybe they got bigger because, you know, it's the Nether, and then they developed an immunity to lava and fire. I don't know, okay? And like their ink morphed into the ability to shoot fireballs from their mouth. Or maybe this is why the glow squids were introduced. The truth is, we have no idea. But with the Legends game seemingly expanding on the lore of this universe, are we gonna find out? I mean, we've seen a couple of mobs that I can't really quite tell who they are, okay? My Canadian instinct said beaver, but some people in the comments said capybara, which is kind of out of nowhere, but still possible. So could they be adding jellyfish to this game as well to explain why there are none left in our main overworld, but why we have so many ghasts? Intentionally stop myself from saying who knows. In at 8, early gameplay. Looking at the poster for this game, since there isn't really much else we can examine in closer detail, it's interesting to see that there are a load of other creatures that aren't in the base Minecraft game that we end up seeing on the poster, but also not in the trailer. We see what I can only assume are sentient prototype wooden dispensers that kind of look like Cubert with a head full of arrows, the golden allay like I've mentioned many times, but also 3 different types of golem, okay? A carved stone golem, 4 of those, a mossy cobblestone golem, and then some blue golems next to the creepers. Now I'm not exactly sure what those ones can be, however I'm guessing probably skulk golems or something similar, since they have a similar appearance to the Warden's design and they seem to be made of deep slate, but we haven't really seen anything other than the wooden Cubert dispenser and the stone brick golems in the trailers, making me think that these clips are from earlier on in the game, or with maybe less progression than you could normally get, because we do see things like the Nether portals and stuff exploding. Okay, I'm guessing the deep slate golems are going to be the heaviest hitters, and if they are connected to the skulk, you may actually not be needing to guide them. Maybe they can just attack on their own if they hear a villain. In 7, inspired by Fallen Kingdom. You see, the first thing I noticed in these trailers was the Piglin invasion, and it reminded me of a very old series of Minecraft music videos, a saga, if you will, by the one and only Captain Sparkles, aka Jordan Moran. Or Maroon, something like that. I'm sorry, Jordan. Starting with Fallen Kingdom, which really didn't feature anything Nether related, but the follow-ups very much did. In fact, it had so much impact that the Nether really pushed the rest of the story. The other 2 music videos, Find the Pieces and Dragon Hearted, at least after Take Back the Night, focused heavily on the war between the Overworld and the Piglins, who at the time were zombie pigmen, but they still had the ears of the Piglins, which is where many assume the idea for the ears came from. So if they're taking ideas for the main game, maybe they're taking ideas for Minecraft Legends. In Take Back the Night, in fact, the main character is also the chosen hero of legend, which is interestingly enough the story of Minecraft Legends. The big bad of the Piglins also was a brutish one wearing a lot of armor, which was first made with wither skeleton parts but then upgraded, and the series even features taking the fight to the Piglins like they suggest you do in the game description. So, you know what, at this point, if I'm not guiding a rocket using a sword, I'm gonna be mad about Legends, okay? That's what I want the final battle to be. Boom. Okay, let me Tony Stark it. And it's 6 Vex. The Vex is a hostile mob that can be summoned by the Evoker, an Illager variant that can only spawn in woodland mansions or during a raid. The Vexes were always a mystery though, we didn't quite know what they were, until we figured out that they're most likely souls like we can collect in Minecraft dungeons. The Evokers literally have control over life and death, something that they were searching and probably got banished for. However, we also know that Illagers are seemingly not in this game, so are there still Vexes? The answer seems to be no, but many Minecrafters also compare the Vex to the newly added Allay mob, which is featured heavily in the trailers and promotional art for Minecraft Legends. So could we be seeing the origin story of the Vex in this game as well? Something that, much like the ground beneath these portals, ended up getting corrupted by the Nether. But that would also beg the question, how did the Evokers gain control over those Vex? Like maybe they start literally summoning souls from hell, or maybe if they are corrupted Allay, they are summoned from hell, but like, does that also mean that the Allay are souls of dead ancient builders? I have a lot going on in my brain now. Let's move on. Halfway through into number 5, Piglin Structures. Trying to ignore how illogical this really would be with structures appearing out of the portal but also coming up through the ground itself. Why do these piglins even need these structures? Like, what is the point of this? I see that there are some piston-like structures that move up and down that are seemingly pumping out more nether corruption, but like, is that what they're doing, or am I just trying to make sense of those random bits? Like, what do these things really do if it's not what I'm thinking? It's really something that I've been curious about since the first trailer, however nothing about these structures has been revealed since, so yeah, it's kind of like they're an enigma that won't actually matter in the long run. Maybe they're just there to fill up space and make your screen shake every so often so things feel more intense. Wait a minute, that actually kind of makes sense. In at 4, the Warden came from the Nether. This is definitely a wild one, but hear me out. This is probably not the case, but I gotta have some fun sometimes, right? Energy, yeah! Whoa! Punches! What put me on this path was actually thinking about the Wither skeletons. MapPat and others on Reddit have proposed the idea that maybe these are bodies of fallen builders, buried in or absorbed by the soul sand that we know has faces of screaming souls trapped inside. The skeletons could have been left over, then burnt from the harsh climate of literal hell, or maybe the blazes found in the nether fortresses that we also find the wither skeletons in. I mean, like, having to fight off the reincarnated burnt skeletons of your former friends is already terrifying, but could this also be how they discovered the unique properties of soul sand, and then it leads them to accidentally summoning the wither after too many failed attempts at bringing their lost friends back? I mean, not quite sure, but we also know that Wardens and Skulk have the ability to manipulate and use souls. It's kind of their whole thing. The Warden has souls in his chest that are, funnily enough, the exact opposite to the actual soul sand faces. They're just mirrored. Like if you take a soul sand texture, flip it horizontally, then put it on a Warden, you kind of get the Warden's chest texture. So what if the Warden actually ended up coming from the Nether? Or since the texture is flipped, maybe it came from its own dimension that is the mirror version or reverse version of the Nether. That doesn't really seem all that crazy to me. I mean, like, the last half of that doesn't. Him being from the Nether kind of does, but I almost said who knows. Getting close to the end, in at number 3, Smoke Cloud. In the first trailer, when the portal opens, we see a cloud of smoke start billowing towards the village from behind the portal. Without even beginning to question where the smoke is coming from, how was it even actually created? Okay, nothing like this seems to be in any of the games, and certainly not in the Nether. The closest we actually get to smoke is the fog when you're at Bedrock, or when you have Optifine installed, or maybe if you want to be literal, the smoke from a campfire would be the closest allegory, but I honestly doubt that's what's going on here. So where did this giant cloud of gas come from, and what does it mean for the rest of the games? The only thing that really makes any form of sense, at least in my brain, is that this is a reference to the Once Upon a Time curse. The one that Regina casts over the enchanted forest that brings all the fairy tale people into the real world and, you know, kind of starts the series, and then the same one that Snow White casts to bring everyone back after they all went home for whatever reason, okay? The one that I memeified in my brain because Grumpy starts yelling, "The curse! It's here!" That has to be what this is referencing, right? Right? Where did everyone go? But ultimately, in at number 2, the story. This story doesn't really come from the trailer, but instead the Minecraft.net website blog post about the game. According to Mojang, and yes, that is the proper way to say it because it is a company that is Swedish, quote, Minecraft Legends is a brand new game that tells the story of the overworld uniting against an invasion by the ravenous piglins. According to the legend, only you can bring together the mobs of the overworld and help them defend their home. The events you will take part in are neither fact nor fiction. They are simply a part of a tale that has been passed down from villager to villager. There are no records or evidence of the great hero that raised their banner to save the overworld. All that remains is a powerful legend. So apparently, these are neither fact nor fiction, but what does that leave exactly? Technically speaking, the game, like Minecraft itself, is a work of fiction, but in the Minecraft universe, how can it be both? Maybe the name of the game is trying to tell us something. A legend, by definition, is presumed to have some basis in historical fact and tends to mention real people or events. Historical fact morphs into a legend when the truth has been exaggerated to the point that real people or events have been taken in a romanticized, larger-than-life quality. So, only some aspects of this story will actually be canon to Minecraft, I'm guessing, which is just a whole other issue. That's a whole other video. And finally, in at number 1, PvP. After Nintendo Direct's mini trailer for Minecraft Legends, we did get to see 27 seconds of gameplay footage. However, this time, again, the detail isn't actually in the trailer, but this time it's in a tweet. After the trailer was released, the Nintendo of America Twitter shared the clip online saying, quote, experience the Minecraft universe in a whole new way when Minecraft Legends comes to Nintendo Switch in 2023. Explore biomes, harvest resources, team up with or against friends, and defeat the ravaging piglins in this new action strategy game. Okay, the key word here being or against. So, maybe if you're playing with friends, you'll be operating different armies. Or will the other players actually get the chance to play as piglins in a sort of Left 4 Dead 2 style versus match? That would certainly be a fun game mode. I mean, there isn't really much info on this other than the tweet and the suggestions and like the other descriptions that Legends accounts have retweeted and posted about. So yeah, it's certainly something to think about. And I really hope this is a thing because that's going to be fun.
See if he's gonna get the flip.
I caught it though.
No, it would have been dope if he it bounced and then did like another one and just hopped back on. That would have been pretty cool.
That's a short if that happens.
Right? My luscious locks. Sorry.
Same.
He has no hair.
How dare you insulting your king?
Oh
Bastard.
man.
Sorry, I did that wrong.
Bro! Oh, excuse me, with the flash and the flick. Okay. God damn it, I'm a Henry, don't forget, I got King Henry on my side. Jeez. Anyways. Sorry. Alright.
While it's being built.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts, god damn it.
Haha, you dropped your phone.
But I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
It's cracked now.
No, my phone ain't cracked.
I saw you coming into Japan Game Pass.
I wasn't gonna say nothing about Game Pass, I swear. I'm a PlayStation guy, I'm a Sony pony. I like my grape drink, not a promotion. I'm not sponsored by Crush, but I just love me some grape, alright? And it's not my color. You gotta chug it.
He's definitely black.
I will chug it. 1 second. Chug.
Okay, we're burning time here, Jay.
I can't chug it because Connor he's rushing me.
Yeah, I am.
Dehydration, get a drink. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because that's so hydrating.
It's purple drink. I hydrate all the purple. It works for my soul. God damn it.
Cacao, bitch. As long as I don't get a stupid motorcycle, Ultra Beast, whatever it's called. That was stupid.
A skeleton horse motorcycle would actually be pretty dope.
He's fired.
Time to jump on it. Jump on. Okay.
I'm swaying.
You don't want to be sway.
Swag money. Fun fact, llamas spit at wolves. Yours truly usually means yourself, but okay.
Yeah, that's the story.
We won't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
I'm like Alice from Bakugan, I got 2 different personalities.
You and this Bakugan, I swear.
Bakugan Battle Brawlers is like god tier. Okay, I look slightly slower than usual, but it's fine.
God.